Voiceover. And that is because I originally filmed or recorded these 2 videos while commenting live, but the deal is that I had forgotten to unmute my mic, so I tried playing more and getting the same results as the 2 first games, but I couldn't. I spent all my luck on the first 2 matches, and I just couldn't get the same amount of kills, And I know that might not be important, but I wanted some good gameplay. And that's something that I've noticed for all my other gameplays as well. Usually, on almost all of my videos, it's been the first or second game that I have recorded. I don't know why, I just have better luck while I'm recording the first games. But anyway, that's why I'm doing a voiceover now. And let me know if you think this is better or worse. Of course, for the next ones, I'll try to get my live commentary. This was just a little mistake. But as you can see, this is not a terrible tank anymore. I got a triple kill in this game. But the thing that made it so terrible before was 2 things, I think. The first, which is still an issue now, and that is that you get no vertical control of your turret. It's fixed vertically. You can turn it around horizontally like a normal tank, but it's welded shut on the horizontal axis. So before you shoot, you need to make sure that your missile doesn't fly up way too high, and that it doesn't crash into the ground because you're on an uneven surface. And that's a pretty big deal, and it really changes how you can play this. It's really limiting. You can negate this by playing it the right way, which is mostly about letting the enemy go into your field of view, and not you pushing into them. You need to make sure that they walk into you, kind of. Now, the second thing, which made it so bad before, which doesn't really count anymore, is that it took a long time for the missile to start maneuvering or guiding after launch. For example, like the Rock Rod for Germany with its BT-1, I think it is. It also doesn't start guiding until the missile is about half a kilometer away from the vehicle. And that used to be the case for the LOSAT as well. And that is devastating for a vehicle that has no vertical control of its missile. So what that meant was that you had to be way more precise, and you just had to make sure that you're completely level, because it would fly just completely straight for quite a long time. And that also meant that you couldn't really hit vehicles that's not the case anymore. Now it's actually quite an agile and maneuverable missile that starts guiding almost instantly. Pretty much, I haven't felt any delay really. But you of course still have to make sure that you're kind of level. Now, in the clip that's currently playing, I'm using the CCBL, another American event vehicle, which I enjoy a lot. It's got a 105mm cannon on it, and it's auto-loaded. It's got a 5-second auto-loader on it, and it's really agile, and it looks pretty, I think it looks pretty cool. But most people will probably tell you that they think it looks super ugly, which I take great offense to. And I'm sorry if you guys can hear some stuff going on in the background. I have dorm mates, so I try my best to record it in the evening so that I don't get that much background noise, but you know. And that you just saw now was a really unlucky missile. And the next one is equally unlucky. Pretty sure I hit the same damn spot twice, which gets me killed. And I really, I don't know if I'd say that I love implementation of these free vehicles, but it is pretty unexpected of Gaijin to do that. It gives players that don't have that many vehicles an opportunity to keep playing, but I kind of feel like there's no real motivation to do so. Like, people that need these vehicles, they most definitely use premium vehicles. And what's the motivation to use a non-premium vehicle that you don't even get bonuses for grinding out its modifications, and you're gonna be stuck each time? And it's maybe not the best vehicle ever also, so I feel like it's not gonna be used that much. But it is nice that you get the opportunity now to keep playing if you want to. If you want to help your team win a game. Something else that they've also added, maybe a while ago now, but I want to mention it, is the daily backups. You get 5 daily backups for free now. That's amazing in my eyes, and I was really not expecting that. There was a period where they were going to implement what's it called? Like expiration dates on backups. And that would make it so that your backups would just vanish after a certain amount of time if you didn't use them. But luckily, people protested so hard that it never got implemented. So it was nice seeing the daily backup get taken into the game. Now, the missiles is what makes this LOSAT special. You're gonna notice that these missiles, they fly super fast. They reach a speed of 1,500. Is it meters per second, I think? No, it's kilometers per hour. And that's the speed of traditional APFSTS rounds. it's just a rocket. It's called a kinetic energy missile, and it's just an APFSDS projectile, but it's rocket propelled and also guided. And it's the only vehicle in the game that has this now. But this type of missile was also mounted on the back of, or on top of Humvees. So it's very possible that we get those vehicles as well added later. And this thing actually gets a ton of penetration as well. And what's really cool about this is that, or I guess not cool, but interesting, is that the projectile gains penetration over time that it flies because it's rocket propelled. It starts out at like 100 millimeters of penetration at 50 or 100 meters, and then it reaches a maximum penetration of almost 800 millimeters at about 1 kilometer. And that is significant. That's a lot of penetration. But even still, I've experienced that sometimes the missile either doesn't do that much damage, which isn't an issue because you can just fire another missile almost instantly, or that the missile will actually bounce off a tank, which is pretty funny to see, and pretty unrealistic, if you ask me. I think in this game I actually non-pin a Gepard somehow at a distance of 1.6 kilometers, and it actually retains its energy really well. Here we go, this is the one. I think, no, wait. Yeah, leopard. And then a Gepard sometime. You're gonna see it. And also, because it gets a ton of penetration, it'll also pretty often overpen, and although it's pretty unrealistic, you can actually keep guiding the missile after it's gone through a tank, which is pretty funny. That's a ZSU 23-4 or 423, I don't know. A Shelka, whatever. And there's a downside of not having explosives. It's not as devastating as some heat projectiles, because War Thunder doesn't take the missile body itself into account when calculating the damage. It's only taking the long rod penetrator into account, the one that's inside of the missile, and it kind of just throws away the rest of the missile, which is, I mean, it's not the biggest deal, but it would be cool to have the entire missile modeled. I feel like, anyway, it would probably make it do a bit more damage towards soft targets. I had a game some other time. Here we go. This is the one, I think. A Gepard. It was about a tank. Almost 800 millimeters of penetration in its turret ring. Yup. That's insane. Then I keep missing. You'll see that I'm not on a level surface right now. So it flies a bit up, but it's very maneuverable, as you shot to the turret and you're just dead. And it gets overpressured really easily, but it's a quite fast tank, and it's light, and it's maneuverable. And you have to be careful playing it. There's a certain way you play this tank. As I said earlier, you have to let others walk into your field of view. You can't really push people. You gotta be patient with this thing. But I'm betting a lot of people actually have this, but just don't use it because they think it's still terrible like it used to be. It used to be super bad, but now I recommend you take this thing out and give it a try. Even at top tier, it's not even a bad tank because it gets so much penetration. I've used this thing against BMPT Terminators and T90Ms. Like, it melts right through Relic like it's nothing. Won that game too. Now, this has been a bit longer video, but let me know if you like this format, or if you want me to stick to the old, live commentary. And I'll try to do that. Now, I don't know how often I'll be making videos. I'm in university right now, so I have quite a lot of stuff going on. But I'll have to say, the comments that I've gotten have been so nice. That's literally what made me make this video. Literally, that one comment. Like, that's great. So yeah, I'll probably make videos in the future, but I wouldn't expect them very often. I pretty much just make